What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Looks like I got a black screen. Y'all give me 2 seconds. And there I am in the flesh, ladies and gentlemen. So welcome one and welcome all. And thank y'all so much for being part of the live broadcast podcast. Don't wait to be great. And I am your host, Mr. Derek Forston, and I'm super excited. And I'm from Forston Consultants. And guess what we do, y'all? Every Monday, every Tuesday, every Saturday, we come here and share the gospel with you guys in terms of how to start your own housing program. Because tonight's title is, why is the ILF model the best model when it comes to housing people? So if you live in a city that you see homelessness every day on your lunch break and while you're headed to work and headed home, right? If you love God, love people, and love real estate, you're in the right place. Because we're going to talk about tonight, how do you merge all of that together? How do you merge the love of God, social services, and real estate together? So one more time, my name is Derek Forston, owner and operator of Forston Consultants. I'm also the founder and thought leader of Second Chance Housing. That's my personal independent living facility. And that's where we take people from homeless to hopeful. So luckily for you all tonight, I'm going to do an intro in terms of what this is, how to get started, who qualifies for it. But more importantly, I got about 14 to 15 questions that were already texted into us. So we love questions. So by all means, if you guys have any questions in terms of what this is, how to do it, how to get started, please put those questions in the chat, because again, I am going to go through a brief intro of what this is, because I never like to take for granted that people just know who we are, right? People just know what we do. I never take that for granted, because every time I come on, no matter if it's 5 people or 105 people, we always get 2 or 3 people that have never heard of this concept. So that's my job, and that's the promise that I made to God many years ago. I said, God, if you make this thing work for me and allow me to quit my job, I'll come back and teach it to other people. And I do that in the form of right here on this YouTube channel. So if you're new to us, we got a few things for you, right? First of all, we got a brand new gift that we want to give you. Starting November 1st, this free gift will actually cost money. But right now, today, if you text the word new to 407-326-0086, and I'll put that on the screen as well. If you just text the word new, just one word, to 407-326-0086, I want to give you our newest ebook on the ILF life in terms of how we do this. In fact, the book is titled The 12 Dumbest Mistakes I Ever Made, right? So if you guys want to avoid the ILF fiasco, because that's the title of the book, and the subtitle again is, guys, how to avoid the 12 dumbest mistakes that I made when I first got into this. So if you're new to us, you have no clue that I went through a $40,000 lawsuit because people wouldn't teach this to me, right? And I'm somebody that, I don't like to wait, right? I don't like to be begging people. So I jumped into it and got started. And lucky for y'all, I went through the bumps and the bruises and the mistakes and the $40,000 lawsuits in and out of court to make sure that you guys don't go through that. So one more time, really slowly, if you love God, if you love people, and you love real estate, you just had no clue that you can mesh all of those together and actually turn it into a business, a ministry. Because again, we're going to talk a lot about real estate today. We're going to talk a lot about housing people. We're going to talk a lot about what's the difference between that and a group home. But guess what this really is, y'all? This is ministry. It involves the love of God, social services, and just like I tell anybody, if you've been dreaming to get into real estate, what other way or a better way that you can get into real estate other than meshing it with the love of God and creating a ministry out of it? So we do this thing that's called independent living facilities. And again, that's an environment where adults are able to live and thrive without the need for staff and or medical oversight. So I'm gonna show you guys today tons of pictures of what it looks like and all of that stuff. But more importantly, I'm excited about the 14 questions that came in. But really quickly, even before we get to that, just in case if anybody's brand new to us, and we get a lot of people that also watch the replays. So really quickly, ILF, independent living facility. That's a shared living environment where not children, not teenagers, but anybody that's 18 years or older, if they hit a stumbling block in life, we can house them, y'all. And guess what? It doesn't require a license. You don't have to own the property. That means you can rent this place, y'all. You can lease it. Because again, if you don't know my whole story, y'all, I used to be a poor social worker making 28 grand a year, begging God to kind of get into something like this, like most of y'all. But like me, today, I come on here 3 days a week and run my big mouth about it and how to do it. We got over 615 videos on this very topic. So one thing about us, we're going to give the game in terms of what this is and how to do it. Your job is to listen to the information, make sure that you align with God with it, get our coaching, and now go back and change your city, right? Does that make sense, everybody? Get the proper permission from God, which we surely believe that God wants you involved in this, because not that Derek said it, but the poor and needy will always be among us. That's in the Bible. God said that, not me. We just figured out a way to, how can we do God's will, help people, involve social services and real estate? And how can we mix it all together? And we do this in something that we call this shared living environment. So again, if you're new to us, maybe you've never heard of this concept before, right? In fact, if you're new to us, let me know in the chat, because if we're all family, I can skip a couple things and I can go right into the questions. But if I got one person that's new to us and don't really know what this concept is, I love to take my time to break it down. But essentially that if you've ever wanted to start a group home, an ALF, or a housing program and thought you needed a license, we're the cheat code to all of that. So remember me, remember my name. My name is Derek Forston, and I'm representing Forston Consultants today. And it's my whole family that's involved in it. And that's what I love about it. Like the last few people that we've launched, and I hope you guys have followed us on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook, because my team literally just not even 8 minutes ago posted another family that we just launched. So if you guys are one of those multitasking people, jump over to Facebook, check that out real quick, give us some love and some currency there. But again, if you've ever imagined starting your own housing program and thought you needed a license, thought it had to have a walkthrough from the fire marshal in your city, thought you had to have a license, thought you had to go to school and get a degree, the devil is a liar. So if you got a big heart for people, if you love God and you always wanted to get into real estate, this is it. Show me something that's better, right? That other than starting your own church, than doing God's will by housing the displaced and the less fortunate. Right. So again, it doesn't require a license because the people that we're housing, guys, they're completely independent. And again, that's the cheat code to all of this. So let me slow that part down. For anybody that's wondering, like, Derek, man, how can you guys do that? How can you start this program and not have a license? Remember, guys, the ILF stands for Independent Living Facility, not an ALF. An ALF stands for an Assisted Living Facility. So this is an environment for us, this shared living environment is an environment where adults can live and thrive. And for me, my favorite word in there is thrive. That means do well, without the need for a nurse, without the need for doctors running in and out of that place. And guys, it looks like this. And if you remember, I just told you 3 minutes ago, I was a poor social worker, barely making ends meet. So how in the world can I go buy a house to do this and buy a license? Guys, it didn't require that. So I went and rented and leased a house. My first house, guys, was a 3-bed, 2-bath home. Now we got them anywhere from a 1-bed, 2-bath to an 8-bed, 5-bath, and everywhere in between. So our mission to you guys is just get started somewhere. But one more time, that definition is there, but to live and thrive without the need for staff. Now I'm gonna say a lot of stuff during this whole presentation, but there's 3 steps to get started. Watch our introductory webinar, and that's by texting the phrase more info. That's just 2 words, more info. And if you text that to the same phone number that I just put on that screen, you text MOREINFO, and you can do that right now to the phone number 407-326-0086. It'll give you our webinar. Now, you don't have to watch that right now because I want you to stay here. But when we're done, watch that webinar. And as soon as you're done, my team will see that you watched it, and we're going to send you a, I think it's an appointment link to set up your appointment to talk about how can we get you started. Because on YouTube, I'm going to talk in a big circle. I'm going to be kind of general. But when you have that call with me, I'm going to talk about how can we change your city where you live at with you and your family. So there's a free strategy call that I just talked about. And that third step is just simply take action, right? And again, if you haven't watched the webinar yet, go ahead and scan these things right here. I think all that still works. Make sure you follow us on that YouTube channel. Also scan that QR code to get our introductory webinar. That introductory webinar, again, is going to explain what are you looking at on this screen? How can I go and lease and rent that place? How can I buy gently used things like what you're looking at? Because in this room, y'all, the only thing that's brand new is the pillow, the pillowcase, the sheets, right? The fitted sheet and that comforter. But guys, everything else is used. The mattress is gently used. The headboard was donated because I posted it on Facebook that we changing lives. And if you want to be a part of it, donate headboards to me. So I just gave you a post right there. Each and every day when you guys are wanting to start this, especially all of my people that just got started, right? The Pierre family did this. The Walker family did this. Tia did this. Miss Linda Eustache, who was in here right now, who I posted her thing not even a few days ago. Linda, not sure if you saw that, Miss Linda, but you went viral on my page. Now, I know some people, it takes 4 million views to go viral, but if you on my page and we get 4,000 plays, you just went viral. So, Miss Linda, congratulations to you, your husband, Leslie, your family, your 2 beautiful children on what you guys did. Because what you guys did, Miss Linda, was you heard the word of what this was. You watched a webinar, but not only did you do that, you took action. You did what we call move at the speed of instruction. So, guys, Miss Linda Eustache, who you see in this room, and I'm gonna even put her name right here on this screen. We literally just launched her not even 2 weeks ago, and she had an open house. So please go be nosy and look at my Instagram and Facebook page and go and see how Miss Linda involved her entire family, not just her and her husband and her 2 kids, but a bunch of other supporting people, supporting cast members, as I would call them, to help her dream come true. And now she's changing lives in Orlando, Florida, because she made a decision not to just sit back. And guess what? Just like most of y'all, Miss Linda got a full-time job. In fact, just started a new job. Husband's got a full-time job, owns his own business. Her 2 children are very involved in their community, in their school, in their curriculum, sports, things of that nature. So again, just like most of y'all, Miss Linda's busy, but she did not let that allow her dream that God put in her heart to get in the way. So like we like to tell people, don't procrastinate, because if God has put this in your heart, guys, let's get started. Because I always say, man, who are we to say that we're too busy and we can't do that thing that God has put in our heart? The devil is a liar. Procrastination is the arrogant assumption that God will give you more time for something he's already told you to do. Quoted Derek Forston. One more time. Procrastination is the arrogant assumption that God will give you more time for something he told you to do last year, 2016, 2015. Some of y'all, this has been on your heart for over 10 years. Don't put it in the chat. Don't raise your hand. We're going to keep that one to ourselves. But just answer this question in your own mind. Did God already tell you and talk to you about starting something that's similar to this? Housing people, housing the homeless and the displaced, being involved in real estate to financially free you and your family? Don't answer that in the chat. But just in your own mind, answer that to yourself. So again, why would you procrastinate? And again, I got 2 great examples of the Eustache family and the Telford family that literally are posted on my Instagram and Facebook page. And the title says you could be next. So again, if God has put this on your heart, who are you to say, well, I don't really have time for that, Derek? Well, Derek, I'm so busy. Derek, you know I'm still in college right now taking up these courses, right? Guys, none of that matters. When God has put the vision on your heart, let's go. Okay? So again, one more time, and we're going to go into these 14 questions. An independent living facility, guys, is an environment where adults are able to live and thrive without the need for staff and or medical oversight. And it's completely different from your traditional group home, right? These are not group homes because it doesn't require a license. Group homes require state oversight. They require staff. And it's because you're housing individuals that are not independent. So again, as I said about 8 minutes ago, we're the cheat code to everything you've been trying to start when it comes to starting your own housing program, because most of us have heard of a group home. Most of us has heard of an assisted living facility. The Telford family, that's exactly what they wanted to do. They wanted to start an ILF until they found us. He realized it was too much paperwork. It was too much oversight. People tell him when he can open, what he can do, what populations he can serve. And Lord bless him. Luckily for him, he found us on YouTube scrolling one day of trying to figure out what to do with this property that he just bought. Some of you guys already own property. Some of you guys have the knack of renting and leasing property, so it's easy for you, but you never kind of knew what to do with it. Some of you tried that Airbnb thing 2 and 3 years ago when it was real hot. But guys, that's a fad. This ILF and this shared model, this isn't a fad, guys. The poor and needy will always be among us with the model in which we do. Does that make sense, everybody? So again, in another reason, because this is actually leads to one of our questions. Why are we so needed, Derek? Who wants to live in a shared living environment? And these are grown adults. Guys, I can show you hundreds of thousands of people that because of the way rents are today, the way that mortgages are today, and even to get approved to buy a house or rent or lease an apartment, guys, it's tough. Who makes 3 times the regular rental fee today? Guys, that's tough. So you guys become the middleman to everybody that can't afford their own house or everybody that can't afford their own apartment. And again, welcome to everybody that's on YouTube, on Instagram. I think I just started Clubhouse. I haven't been on Clubhouse in a long time, so I'm on Clubhouse right now. So all of my Clubhouse people, again, if you've ever decided or you made a decision one day to get started with housing the homeless and the displaced but didn't know where to start, welcome to Forston Consultants, because we got your back. Okay, so welcome one, welcome all. Share the room no matter where you're at. Good to see you, Dornico. Haven't seen you in a while, big bro. Good to see you, Tiffany. The PR family, always good to see you guys here. Tia, Katara, all my usual people. Miss Tina, good to see you here as well. What we're going to do real quick is I'm actually take a quick commercial break, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to jump right into the 14 questions that we have already. And don't forget, guys, I'm here for about an hour. So if you have any questions or concerns about this particular model, type it in the chat. I'll highlight it and I'll bring it up, and we'll talk about it. We'll be right back. Hey, what's going on, family? Have you ever imagined starting your own housing program? That's probably why you're here. And if you're looking for one-on-one coaching, like you're kind of getting right now, but in a more of a one-on-one setting, just you and I, that's our ILF Mastery Blueprint. There's a number that they're scrolling below on this screen right now. If you text the word scholarship to that phone number, my team is going to get you some information. So first of all, I'm going to say congratulations and thank you for moving at the speed of instruction. We look forward to working with you. And again, this is only for people that desire our one-on-one coaching, which is designed to watch you succeed from going from a zero to a hero when it comes to information and knowing how to implement this independent living facility model without any mistakes. That's most important. So again, our ILF Mastery Blueprint, guys, there's a scholarship that's available for it that'll slice the price in half, which is also a no-brainer. So again, if you've ever desired to start your own housing program, but you thought you needed a license, you don't. You thought you had to be a nurse, you don't. You thought you had to own the property, you don't. Consider our ILF Mastery Blueprint, where we are going to take you to success and let God use you in your community, housing the homeless and the displaced. Let's get back to the show.
Take a drive down Los Angeles' Skid Row, filled with tents, people, and growing frustration.
If I can get back into another residence, then I won't make the same mistakes I made before.
According to new federal data, a record number of people are now unhoused, more than 653,000, a 12% population increase since last year. Mel Tilakaratna runs a nonprofit that provides free showers to people living on the street.
The system is completely overwhelmed.
Tilakaratna points to a rise in housing costs, the opioid epidemic, mental health issues, and the migrant crisis as factors exacerbating the problem in LA.
We have families, asylum seekers to families in LA who become homeless, and prior where we would be able to send them to a motel or a shelter within a couple of days, now there's absolutely no resources.
These issues are also creating friction in major cities. Back in September, New York Mayor Eric Adams revealed new fears as tens of thousands of asylum seekers flooded the city.
I don't see an ending to this. This issue will destroy New York City.
In Phoenix,
Wow, what a strong statement by that gentleman. You heard him? My boy say this issue will destroy New York City. And guess how many mayors and other city officials have that same mindset in terms of where they live at? So again, that answered a question right there that the Lawrence family asked me, and that's why I played that video first. And I'm gonna actually come back to that. So here is one of about 14 questions that I'm gonna get ready to go through. And again, thank you guys so much for texting and emailing those in. We love that. Don't forget, you guys can email or text any questions for our lives at 407-326-0086. And just put that. This question is for our live event or for Monday, Tuesday, or Saturday. That way I know it's specifically for me to answer that while we're live. But we got about 14 of them. So I'm going to go ahead and start with them now. So here's a question from the Robbins family. They ask, how do ILFs meet the needs of residents beyond just housing? So obviously, well, first of all, that's a great question. Obviously, housing is our number one concern. But if I can name, and I'll even pull on people like Tia, I'm going to pull on Tiffany, if Dornico's still here. You guys that are already running ILFs, kind of help me with the answers too. You guys can put in the chat what you think. I trust you all. You guys have been trained and taught by us, right? We're family, so I know that you guys can be trusted. So Tiffany, Dornico, Tia, who's else in here? You guys feel free to go ahead and fill in those blanks while I also answer that. So one of the things that I'll say that the ILF model and housing kind of takes care of beyond housing, and I'm going to bring this to very recent, I see it as a relationship mender, meaning oftentimes we'll get a client in that mom or dad or Uncle Joe, quite frankly, they're tired of him or her now. And through the years of whatever's happened, the relationship has been strained. So what we see a lot of times when somebody moves in with us, the relationship with the parents get better. And a lot of times I get a phone call like this. Hey, Mr. Derek, how's it going? Great. Derek, I don't know what you did to my son, Charlie, but boy, he is a changed young man. When he comes to visit us now, him and my husband can actually have a conversation and sit down and watch the baseball game without getting into a fight. And Derek, for some reason, he says yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am to me. Derek, he's never done that. Now, first of all, watch me take no credit for any of this, because somebody gonna say, wow, Derek, how did you do that? First of all, I take no credit. Second of all, I pray over every client that comes in my facility, especially if they got family and the intention, listen to the word, and the intention is for them to move back. I'm praying for the relationship the whole time. In fact, one time I remember me telling the mom, I said, Mom, I'm no genius. I had nothing to do with that. I said, but Mom, you know what I've seen? The moment they move from your house and now they're in their own environment, the respect level is also different. He respects you differently and you respect him differently. Mom, the second problem is that both of y'all are grown adults. Even though, yes, he's your son, Mom, he's also 45 years old. So quite frankly, Mom, I didn't do anything but introduce him to the love of God, a safe environment where mamas are not over your shoulder arguing about, hey, did you do the dishes? Did you dump the trash? Did you take your meds? So I said, Mom, it's nothing that you done either, but it's that when they leave your environment and now they're on their own, they can come back to you a completely different person. Oh, and by the way, I also pray for them every day too. But other than that, guys, I really have nothing to do with that. When they leave an environment that all they do is argue and fight over who ate the last bologna sandwich, over who ate the last Doritos, over who ate the last piece of bread, over who drunk the last little bit of milk and put the carton back in the refrigerator. Mom, when he's not arguing with you about that, he living with 5 other grown men, it's just different. And they're like, oh, I get it now. So back to your original question, I see relationships get remended simply because they've moved out and the respect level gets different. So I'm gonna check the chat. I'll see if Tiffany or Dornico or anybody else put anything in the chat, because you guys that are veterans at this, I would like for y'all to also chime in. If you've been taught by us and you know what you're doing, how do ILFs meet the need of residents just beyond housing? Another thing, and we talked about this in our private group the other day, when they get with us, another thing that we have access to is third-party providers. Prime example, if you was in our live the other day and you met Miss Desiree can offer a lot of services that none of y'all have no business offering, including me, because we're independent. But because we're using a third-party outside person, they can now bring in therapy. They can bring in Meals on Wheels. They can bring in that companionship thing to where they come and cook their food, watch TV with them, take them to the doctor, and go to the park for 2 hours and watch the birds. All the things that I'm telling you guys not to get involved in because we're independent, this is what can be added now. So for me, that's how I'm doing something more than just housing. We're mending relationships. We're getting them medication management and outside things like therapy and counseling that they would have never got if they would have just stayed in mom's house. So I love that. Tiffany says that they feel valued. So again, going back to the mom that kicked him out, he don't feel very valued there. Does that make sense? So when Tiffany welcomes him in, because the name of my program, y'all, is called Second Chance Housing. Now, by the time these guys meet me, they're on their 50th chance, usually. Tiffany, I'm sure you deal with the same thing. But can you imagine what Tiffany just typed in the chat about them feeling valued? They don't feel valued at home, guys, when they're fighting every day. When mom and dad possibly are also using drugs. Dornico put restored dignity, renewed purpose, self-respect, self-worth. That's a whole book in one. Restored dignity. Renewed purpose. Some of these guys find a brand new purpose when they move with you. Some of these ladies find a renewed purpose when they move out of their old environment. And sometimes, y'all, it ain't from some bad parents. It's from the street. It's from the park benches. It's from behind the dumpster. So can you see how self-respect, self-worth, and a renewed purpose comes now? Because I'm not sleeping behind a dumpster, but I'm actually sleeping in a place with this guy like Dornico who seems to care about me. Does that make sense, everybody? Two of y'all type yes in the chat if that makes sense. Self-esteem builder. All of these things is what you guys are bringing about when you take people from homeless to hopeful. Because trust me, guys, there are a lot of things to worry about in life. But if we don't have a place to live, it's hard to think about anything else. How can I build my self-esteem and I'm homeless on the street? Can't apply for a job, no internet connection, no AC in the middle of the summer, no heater in the middle of the winter, because where some of you guys are, it's getting cold now. So I'm in Florida, right? So I'm still experiencing 89 and 91 degrees. It don't change here for quite some time. But where some of you guys are, put in the chat if you're in one of these areas. You're already experiencing 65, 60 degrees during the day, 45 and 35 degrees at night. Now, for me as a Floridian, that's some cold weather. Now, Dornico will laugh at me because he's in Ohio, where they get real low and where they get buried in snow. Guys, I'm a Florida boy that still haven't seen snow fall from the sky yet. Now, don't laugh at me, y'all. I done been some places and I saw snow, but it was already on the ground. I'm a Florida boy that has never experienced snow coming from the sky, ladies and gentlemen. Now, put that same scenario of somebody that's homeless and they're seeing that snow. I put in the chat the other day on a post, guys, when we're getting asked, and this is another question anyway, what is the best time of year to get started with my housing program, Derek? Well, guys, quite frankly, I'll be honest with you, it's the wintertime. Because in the summertime, a lot of these people that we take care of and that we house, they don't mind living outside when it's hot. They don't mind living outside in the fall. But guess when everybody want to come in? September, October, November, December, January, February. In March, them same people say, well, Derek, I think I'm good now. Because I told y'all about a guy about 5 months ago. I house him every year around this time. Thomas, if you're listening, come on home. One of my wife's favorite clients of mine, actually, right? I got a guy that every year around this time, he coming in. Because y'all, he don't want to be outside. It's freezing. Right? And look at what Dornico put in the chat now. Yep, I'm freezing. Guys, I don't experience what Dornico is. But that's why it's important for all you Midwest, all you up north people, let's get started. Somebody gonna be homeless on the street because you didn't get started. And that's a strong statement, y'all. But I started saying that last week, and I'm gonna say that probably every week now. As tough as that is to hear it, and as strong as a statement that is, I'm probably gonna say that every week now. The same way that I give y'all that definition of procrastination, I'm going to say this every week, that somebody is going to be homeless on the street because you never got started. Even me right here in this picture as a social worker, y'all, I dreamed of this. Dummy me, it took me 9 years before I actually jumped into it. Don't let that be y'all testimony. Let your testimony be, boy, you heard us talk about this one time. You watched the webinar, you took that free discovery call, and now we got you and your family started in your city changing lives through housing. And again, if you just joined us, we're talking about shared housing in a shared housing model environment where adults are able to live and thrive. Now, this picture you see on the screen, this is a lot of what I saw before I got started as that social worker. Bad conditions, people's beds are on the floor, no sheets, no cover, no comforter. Same thing right here, where this bed is on cinder blocks. How crazy is that? So again, and I saw a lady, y'all, that was making 41 grand a month doing this, y'all. And these are the pictures from her facilities. How could you make $41,000 a month, y'all, housing people like this? Lord have mercy. I'm going to leave that alone. Next question. What are the most important qualifications to look in potential residents? Right off the bat, somebody that doesn't mind a shared living environment. Somebody that when I introduce this environment right here with these two beds, I say, oh, okay, that's cool. And even if that same guy wants his own private room, he don't mind that the rest of the house is also shared, meaning the refrigerator, the freezer, the dryer, the washing machine, the sink, the bathrooms. So again, for me, somebody that automatically understands that this is a shared living environment and multiple people live there. That's number one. Because if they don't like that, everything else you offer don't even matter. So again, the question is, what are the most important qualifications to look for potential residents? Now, this may sound crazy, but I'll just say it. Somebody it terrifies them to be homeless on the street, and they understand again that this model can save their life. I just gave y'all a different example in another way about the same guy not even 2 minutes ago. Some of these people don't mind being homeless, y'all. It don't bother them to be on the street and outside. But I house a lot of guys that say, Mr. Derek, with everything in me, bro, I will never, and I don't want to be homeless. Derek, I'm afraid to be homeless. So Derek, please notify me when the rent due. On the 1st, on the 3rd, or when you want it, Mr. Derek, and at what time? Because I can't afford you be talking about you going to kick me out. I appreciate somebody with a mindset like that understand that their roof over their head is first. We can pay for a lot of stuff, y'all, but if we don't pay for that roof over our heads, that's going to be tough. So again, qualifications, they don't mind living in a shared living environment where multiple people that are unrelated are going to live. Number 2, they understand that I'm a one-stop shop, meaning I don't charge them for lights, for water, for cable, for Wi-Fi, for security system. They make one payment to me. If they're comfortable with that, that also makes them a great candidate. See, this stuff is simple, y'all. I'm not trying to make this rocket science. You got to understand that this is a shared living environment. Oh, and by the way, if you take medications, that's a part of my program rules to keep you mentally stable, physically stable, and that everybody's getting along together, because that's another rule of mine. Can you get along with other people? Or do you get ticked off real easy? Are you bothered real easy? These are some of the things that when we're doing assessments that we're looking for. Somebody that does not want to be on drugs and alcohol. Somebody that wants help, even if they are on drugs and alcohol, but they want the help for it. Guys, all of these are qualifications that will make a great potential resident. The person that obviously has the money. When you guys get into this, it's going to break your heart. But a lot of people that want to get into this, that want your housing, they actually can't afford it. They don't have an income. Now, that'll break your heart. But how can you make a living? How can your program last and scale if you're not making an income from this? That's why we call this making an income and an impact at the same time in your city. Income and impact. Impact and income at the same time. That's what this shared model is all about, y'all. Okay? So next question, and I'm going to knock these right out. And by all means, all of my people that are experienced in this, you guys can throw your answers in too, right? So Tiffany, Teal, Dornico, Katara, all my people that have learned this from us, you guys can answer, how do ILFs meet the needs of residents beyond housing? What are the most important qualifications to look for in residents? You guys chime in as well. Next one, what are the major challenges owners face and how can they prepare to overcome them? Now, I'll admit, most of that's in our coaching and in our training. I can keep you out here for 3 days in a row talking about those because they're endless pretty much. There's a lot of things that you could run into. But the way you set expectation, here's some real gems, your rules and your rule book, everything falls back on that. So no matter how great you want your program to be, if there's no rules, if there's no structure, this can prove to be difficult. So the challenges that you're going to face, that if you don't put rules in place, this can turn to a clown show. So avoid that challenge by taking our coaching and getting our rule book that our lawyers actually put together for us. Our lease agreements and all the paperwork that it takes to do this, get that stuff from us. And another way, again, just really simple to overcome a lot of these challenges, ask questions. I'm live Monday, Tuesday, and Saturday right here every week. Monday, Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern. We got a free Facebook group called The ILF Academy. Same thing. Lots of teaching, lots of coaching, a lot's going on that you just need to see. Especially if you're foreign to this concept, make sure you guys join the ILF Academy. It's a free Facebook group. Just go ahead and join it now. But the challenges, guys, I'll admit, there can be many challenges, but without the proper coaching and you don't know what you're doing, guys, this could prove to be difficult, just like it was for me in the beginning, right? I went through all the bumps and the bruises just to get it right. And thank God, because God helped me, because there was no coach. There was no teacher. But now you guys got me. Welcome to the family. Next question, and this is by the Trayvon family. How can someone determine if the property is suitable for an ILF? That's a great question, but kind of wide open. But what makes it suitable? If the roof is not leaking, there's no holes in the structure, you got AC, and the place has plumbing and bathrooms, that's kind of what makes this good. Okay, I don't want to make that so simple, but a 3-bed, 2-bath, a 2-bed, 1-bath, it can be a 1-bed, 1-bath. You guys were talking more about bed count and the amount of beds, because you put that in parentheses, and I see that. So you guys don't know this, Trayvon family, but the smallest ILF to date is a 1-bed, 1-bath, and the guy's housing 2 military veterans. Make sense? The largest to date is probably one that I used to have that I no longer have, but that could house over 17 people under one roof. Okay? So the point there is that start somewhere. There's no license required. You don't have to buy the property. That's what makes it the cheat code. You can rent it or lease it. And then just in case, if you want to get started tomorrow and you can't buy one or lease one by tomorrow, don't forget about the HRA. HRA stands for Housing Referral Agent, to where you can make money, make an impact and income tomorrow, and you don't need property. You just need relationship with other people that already have the property. We got a whole webinar just on that. It's only 14 minutes long. It'll change your life. Okay? It'll absolutely change your life. And the way that you get it, you either go to our website at forstonconsultants.com/webinars or text the phrase more info. That's 2 words, MOREINFO, more info, to 407-326-0086. I just put it on the screen for you. And also, if you're new to us, get our newest ebook for free by texting the same number, the word new, N-E-W. Starting November 1st, that book will actually be $37. It'll save you $40,000, but it'll only be $37 for you to buy it. But if you get it today, tomorrow, or the next day, it's free. Just text the word new, right? And after that, let's have a call. I want to get you started. Because again, the first step, and that's one of the next questions from the Robinson family, what's the first step to getting started? Watching our webinar. If you watch our introductory webinar, it'll break down everything you need to know. It'll also trigger for you to set up an appointment to talk to me and my team and about how we can get you started. And just in case, if you're new to us and you didn't notice, all of our coaching is half off right now. We've done something crazy over the last 14 days. My birthday is also coming up, and we're going to do some other crazy stuff probably. But for right now, any coaching that you guys want, the ILF Mastery Blueprint, that's usually $7,500, that's only $3,750. The accelerator is only $3,000 usually, but now it's $1,500. And the DIY, which a lot of you guys have been getting lately, the do-it-yourself version is only $497. And every one of those packages, my team still builds your website. So it's a no-brainer in terms of the coaching, guys. All the paperwork, all the documents, all of me, one-on-one coaching, so that you ain't scratching your head. And again, it's 50% off, guys. So if you were ever considering our coaching, but maybe couldn't afford it, now's a great time. If you also would like to apply a scholarship towards that pricing, text the word scholarship. We got some scholarship monies left over, and it doesn't pay for the course completely. I had a few people that thought that. The scholarship actually just gives a big discount from the original price. So again, when you guys hear us use the word scholarship, that means most of the time that either me, myself, and my team, we've thrown in money into a pot that we bless people with to give a discount, or somebody that we've taught over the years have just been so grateful for what they've learned from us that they just donate and give us and just sow a seed. So we've had people do that a few times actually. And we're kind of in that same zone right now. So if you want to only pay half for our coaching, text the word half. You can text the word scholarship if you want to apply for that. We'll give you instructions on how to get that. And again, the scholarship, guys, helps with the price. It gives a discount. It doesn't mean you get a full ride scholarship like how you get to college and you don't pay for nothing. It's not like that. But it does slice it right in half. So if you guys wanted that, let us know. I'm going to take a quick commercial break. Remember, guys, if you got questions, put them in the chat, and I'm here for about another 20 minutes or so, and we'll be right back. If you've ever imagined of starting your own housing program, there is no reason that after we're done here tonight that you shouldn't go to forstonconsultants.com/webinars and watch the webinar, guys, because a lot of you have wanted to start a group home or traditional assisted living facility, but that stuff takes license. It takes a lot of time to open. There's a lot of red tape to jump through. You have to ask for permission. We teach you guys how to open an ILF, an independent living facility, where you can house the homeless, displaced adults, or anybody that has a guaranteed income, and it doesn't require a license, and you don't have to own the property. Make sure you watch that free webinar at forstonconsultants.com/webinars, and then set up a free strategy call so that me and my team can get you started. Let's get back to the show. Social media is easy. Hey. What's going on, guys? Telling Shay that social media is easy over here. So, hey, thank y'all so much for joining us. We super appreciate it. I'm going to check the chat for any newer questions. If not, I think I got about 9 more left. Darnico, big shout out to you, bro. I saw that you said that this is your daughter's 13th birthday. So happy birthday to her. We love her, love you and your family. Appreciate that. Congratulations on everything that you guys doing, D. The wholesaling, the ILF, your wife's new cooking endeavors, and her new Chef Cindy thing. So, in fact, Darnico, put in the chat Chef Cindy's website, social media, and just talk about what she's doing there. And Darnico, guys, is a good example of, like, once you've mastered the art of housing people, how you can move on to other stuff. We always talk. In fact, we talked about that about 2 weeks ago. Darnico's an example of that, right? He's in Dayton, Ohio. Got multiple properties now. He was just like most of y'all. Didn't know what this was until he met us. Right. But when he got in it, he knew that God was already calling him to it. And like God did for most of y'all, he merged us together. So for such a time as this that you found me on YouTube, Darnico was no different. But now that he's mastered that and doing really well at it, he's wholesaling real estate now. Him and his wife started a new, I don't even know what to call it. It's not a cooking company. I'm going to call it, let me brand this thing myself, D. You and your wife have started a movement when it comes to healthy eating. And if you never thought to say it that way, you can steal that. Because in my opinion of what I'm seeing your wife doing and how she's creating these delicious meals for people that otherwise would want it the unhealthy way, but she's doing it healthy and you almost can't tell that it's the healthy version of it. This is a movement. So what I'm going to say is that you and Chef Cindy has started a new movement of the way people should see, view, and taste food that most of y'all think got to have a bunch of junk in it for it to taste good. She's doing it the healthy way, guys. So Darnico, do yourself a favor and your wife, promote that in the chat. And one of my favorite things that I've never even tasted yet was I like those egg rolls that she did. So if you want to highlight the egg rolls, talk about that real quick. But big shout out to you, D, man. And D says, expect pushback from the enemy. You're about to change lives. Start somewhere, help someone. I won't always be easy, but it's worth it. It won't always be easy, but it'll be worth it. Just about 4 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, bro, I'm still grateful. And look how time flies, right? For you guys that have been around us, imagine Darnico telling me, hey, bro, 4 years later, y'all know how crazy that sounds when it seems like yesterday he was on his first property calling me every 15 minutes, Derek. Darnico's the only client that I've had in a long time, y'all, in some years, that literally took me up on what I said when I say call me every day, 15 times a day, D, if that's what you need to get you where you going. Guys, Darnico called me every day. And then it came to a point where I said, wow, I ain't heard from Darnico in a while. Guess why? Because that means he got it now. And now when we talk on the phone, it's about other stuff, about wholesaling real estate, buying real estate, starting a restaurant, starting a food truck, all these different things that I hope that his wife and him got on their idea brain now. Because Cindy needs a truck, Darnico, amen. And eventually this could turn into a restaurant, bro. Most of these new concept restaurants, D, they started from this food truck, bro. And some of them keep the food truck and still get the restaurant, but some of them graduate from the food truck. I can't wait to see where you guys take that because I'm already seeing the demand on what she's doing. I saw that trade show thing y'all went to and sold out. right? So I can't wait to see what you guys turn that into. Okay. So, and I'm 100% also on what D said, because we talked about this last week and the week before, guys. You guys are wanting to do something great. And guess who wants to ruin that? The devil. But the devil is a liar, and he's under your feet today. So my prayer for each and every one of you guys, that you move at the speed of instruction, and that God gives you every resource and every relationship that you need to make this thing come true. Amen in the chat if you agree with that. Okay. I'm going to put amen first, because I absolutely agree. If you agree with that, put amen in the chat, because the devil going to try y'all. But today the devil is under your feet and has no place in your life, your business, or your family, and you will succeed in Jesus' name. Next question was, what is the first step? I think we already said that, but if you're new, the first step, guys, is watching our introductory webinar. And again, if you just text the word more info, that's 2 words actually, MOREINFO, to the phone number that you see on the screen, that'll give you our webinar, which will also give you a free discovery call with me and my team to talk about how can we get you started. So that's the first step. Next step, or next question was, is there a license required? No, not at all. That person's new to us, and I can tell. So when you watch that webinar, you will understand even more why we don't need a license, because the people that we serve are independent. They don't need assistance like an ALF. ALF, assisted living facility. ILF, independent living facility. Again, an environment where adults are able to live and thrive without the need for staff and or medical oversight. Okay. So those are 2 easy ones. That one's kind of always comes up. What populations can I serve? I actually went over this Saturday, but because I know that you guys are new, the Limon family, I'm gonna actually go to it and show you. So give me 2 seconds and I'll pull the slide up. So when we talk about what populations can you serve, I talk about, and I sound like almost a broken record because I say that there's a lot. Choose the population you want to serve according to your lifestyle, because if you're real busy, that may matter with certain populations, right? But allow the community to dictate the need of what's the community calling for in your community. Because it's one thing to say, well, I want to house military veterans. But what if the first 14 calls you get is for elderly women? So what do? Watch our HRA webinar, and it'll show you how to make a referral and still make an impact and an income. So don't forget, guys, the HRA webinar, you get it the same way by texting more info to that phone number. It shows you how to get started with what we do, guys, and you never need the property. You don't have to buy one, rent one, or lease one. But real quick, and I'll just go through these real fast. Anybody that's 18 years or older, we house them. They can have a job. They can have SSDI. They can have SSI. They can work at Walmart, McDonald's, Sonny's Barbecue, or they can be a substitute school teacher. Don't matter to us. Elderly adults is probably my favorite. Guess why? Because they're not looking for a party. They're not looking for the next greatest drug to try. They're not trying to sneak women through my windows, Tiffany. They're not trying to do all of these things that the younger crew have the potential to do. I'll just put it that way. They just want a clean, safe environment and usually want to be left alone. I love that, because my lifestyle today is, guys, I'm very busy. So my lifestyle really maybe can't handle the teenager age up on the foster care system, because they still need a lot of support. Elderly adults, Mr. Derry, why are you here today? Oh, I'm just changing the batteries in the door lock, man. Relax. How's everybody? Great. Y'all have a great day. He don't need me cooking his bologna sandwich. He don't need me taking him to the doctor's office. Military veterans and elderly adults, they kind of go one and one to me, because I've never had a military veteran who was 35 years old or who was 41 years old or 18 or 22 years old. They're always usually older people by the time we get the call. So elderly adults, military veterans, my favorite. The working individual, some people got their ups and downs about this crew, because one thing about them, y'all, their income isn't guaranteed. We teach you in our coaching, how do you make a decision on a guy that's got the job at Checkers or McDonald's or Burger King? Did he just start 2 weeks ago, or has he been there 2 years? How long does he usually keep a job when he gets hired? All of these things matter, guys. But the guy that's got a full-time job, I got a few of these guys. And I'll be honest, one of them right now is going through a little bit of a problem in construction, and the work is not steady. What do? Well, we got to give a little grace. But boy, that grace and that guy that's got a job is nothing like the guy that gets SSI or SSDI. That's a guaranteed payment, y'all, that nothing stops it. So the guy that's got the job, no problem, but just keep in your mind that if this is a guy that just started a job 2 weeks ago and just lost his job 4 weeks ago and had worked in 9 years before that, this may not work because he doesn't have the longevity, Tiffany. How can you trust it, Tiffany? Miss Pierre, so when you're interviewing the guy that's got the job, find out. So I'm going to give y'all some live coaching right now. Miss Pierre, you guys just got started. When you interview the guy that said, hey, Miss Pierre, I work at Sonny's Barbecue. No problem. How much you get paid, bro? Great. When do you get paid? Is it every week or every 2 weeks? Because everybody else, Miss Pierre, that you guys in your family house, they get paid monthly. But the guy that's got the job at Sonny's Barbecue and Burger King, oh, they get paid every Tuesday. So how do you get paid, Miss Pierre? From my coach is going to tell you that you get paid every Tuesday too. Don't charge the guy monthly who gets paid every week because you'll never get that money. So the working individual is another kind of guy that we'll house, the Lamone family. We don't mind this guy, but I'm going to ask certain questions to make sure that there's longevity at that job before I trust it. Make sense? You guys ever heard of that term, trust but verify? Do that with this one too, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? IMB people will go deeper on that if you guys don't get that. Teenagers aging from the foster care system, I love this population. Don't get me wrong, but if you busy, if you don't have patience, if you got a lot going on in your life, this probably won't work. But if you got the patience, if you have the heart, if you got the love of God inside of you, and this is what God has called you to, this is perfect. Because they need your love, they need your care. Because most of the time, probably 90% of the time, they've been raised by crummy parents, drug-addicted parents, right? So no fault of their own, but this crew can be a pistol. This crew can be tough if you don't know what you're doing and you weren't truly called to it. So when I say this most of the time, y'all, some people say, well, dang, Derek, you real hard on that crew, man. Why you talk about it so hard like that? Because guys, I'm smart enough to know, Tia, that a lot of people will do this population a disservice if their heart ain't in it. Some people think, well, I'll get into the teens from the foster care because they really need help. But ma'am, you ain't got no patience. You got a short temper. You got 3 jobs and you own 3 businesses. You too busy for this population. They need support. They need cuddling. They need support. They need your ears, your listening ears. They need support. And a bunch of support. Because again, no fault of their own, Miss Teal, but they've been raised the wrong way. Miss Teal, they didn't raise these kids the way you raised your son. Your son's a great guy. These kids are not like that. And it's no fault of their own. Drug-addicted parents can cause that. Parents that are just not responsible, let the kids do whatever. When that kid turns 16, 17, and 18, that kid's a pistol. And if you're not prepared for that, if you're not built for that, if God didn't call you to that, that's not going to work, y'all. That's the only reason why I go so hard for this population, because I hate to see people do a disservice rather than doing a great service. Don't do a disservice by serving this population if you don't have patience, if you don't have time, if you don't have the super love of God in your heart. Stay away from that population. They're already in a bad spot. Don't you add to it. Make sense, everybody? Okay. And then this will probably wrap up my last 2 questions. Somebody asked about the pricing model in terms of, Derek, I heard you talk about there's more than one model within this one model. Yes, it is. The ILF model is called the shared living model, but I got a shared room, I got a private room, and I got a private suite. And the only difference is the shared room, 2 beds per room. Private room, 1 bed, he still shares the hallway bathroom. Private suite, Miss Mary got her own bathroom, her own room, and she never shares it unless she want to, meaning her bathroom. So if someone got to use the bathroom, Miss Mary don't have to let them use that bathroom. But if she want to be nice, no problem. Because that's her bathroom, her room, she pays for it. So again, guys, very simple. As we say, if you love God, love people, and if you love real estate, you are in the right place, because this is exactly what we do. And again, no license required, no state regulations, right? No nurse, no doctor, and you don't have to be an LPN. If you love God, love people, and you got some patience, this is for you. You just got to get started now. And your first step is watching our webinar by texting the phrase more info to 407-326-0086. And then after that, that gives you a phone call with me for absolutely free to talk about how can we get you started in your city. Now, if it's just general questions, you can bring them right here to YouTube. That way we all learn together. But if you say, Derek, I think I want to get started, man, I think I'm ready to move forward. I want that scholarship, Derek. I want to cut that price in half. I want all of that stuff you got, Derek. Those are the ones that should take that call for sure, so that we can talk about how much of that scholarship can we apply to that price, right? So again, guys, all of that's available. I'm here every Monday, every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. As you guys can see, all of these questions came from people that typed it in, texted in. And as you see, we're not hiding anything. We want you to know what this is. And I think there was one more question. I might be wrong. Let me see. Yes. Do you have payment plans for your coaching? Yes. So if you guys go to forstonconsultants.com, if you click on any product, as soon as you get to that checkout page, there's something that's called Klarna. It's K-L-A-R-A. N-A, Klarna. And it's like a pay over time. So you can absolutely break these payments up and choose our payment method. That's called Klarna, and it's right on our website. So anything you click on to purchase, you will see Klarna as an option. And that allow you guys to pay over time and pay in monthly payments and all that stuff. So yes, we do have third-party coaching, which is at Klarna, and we got in-house financing as well. So you guys can go either way with that. Next question was, do you guys have discounts for nonprofits for either the website build out or the coaching or both? Yes. It's funny that you said that. Shay announced that probably 4 weeks ago on a live, and two of y'all recently must have watched the replay and heard it. And you guys joined us just not, I think it was like last week. That means, for those two people, they wanted the business icon at digitalflowsolutions.net. And that's one of the packages. That package is $297. But with them being a nonprofit, that package is only $87 a month, right? So instead of the $297 at $300, it's only $87, a little under $90. So again, yes, there's scholarships and discounts for nonprofits as well, whether you want just a website by itself or you want the coaching. So if you have a nonprofit already and want our coaching, what we're answering right now is yes, there's an additional scholarship even for you. Okay, we're gonna take our last break, guys. And I'm gonna close you guys out here and see if there's any other questions that are in the chat. And again, thank y'all so much for being here. You guys have a ton of choices of where you could be, but you chose to be here, and I appreciate that. So last break, guys, and we'll close you out, and we'll be right back. So Dennis, in this independent living facility model, right, which y'all call ILFs, what kind of residents can I house in this kind of model? David, that's a great question. And that's actually what makes the ILF model so great, is because it's flexible. So prime example, you can house military veterans, elderly adults, women that are escaping domestic violence, and the list goes on and on and on. So Dennis, where do you get your residents from? I see you guys on TikTok and Facebook, you guys getting all of these houses. Like, where in the world are you getting these people from? Yeah, that's actually pretty easy. Forston Consultants teaches us to use social media such as Instagram, Facebook, to let people know who we are, what we do, but probably most importantly, who do we serve? And we do that very consistently. So every day, 7 days a week, there's something being posted about what we do and who we serve, but also building relationships with social workers and case managers. Again, letting them know who we are, what we do, and most importantly with them, that we're available. Dennis, how in the world are you able to do this without a license, bro? David, remember the reason why we don't need a license, because remember, the clients that we serve, they're independent. So that means that they can take their own medications, they can provide their own transportation, and they can cook and provide their own food. Dennis, man, you seem to know a lot about this independent living stuff, man. How do you know so much? Well, first of all, I graduated from Forston Consultants University, and I have a master's degree in independent living facilities. And I join the Forston crew every Monday on YouTube at 6 p.m. Eastern. They go live, and that guy Derek, man, he give the game away. So I'm always there. So Dennis, what in the world are the requirements to get started with something like this? The only requirement for this, David, is a big heart for God, his people, and the love for real estate. That's it. And bro, don't think I ain't listening, because I am listening. But where can I find more information like this at, man? Because I really want to get started, man. David, if I were you, I'd follow Derek Forston on Facebook and TikTok, and then I'd follow Forston Consultants on everything else in terms of Instagram, Facebook, and on YouTube. Again, really slowly, David, because you're hard-headed. I'd follow Derek Forston at Facebook on his personal page. I'd follow him on TikTok, but I will also follow Forston Consultants on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Don't forget, David. Hey, Dennis, man, I really appreciate that, man. I'm going to do exactly what you told me to do. I'm going to follow Forston Consultants on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. No problem, David. That's actually what I'm here for. And by the way, where did you get that hoodie? I like that. Oh, this? I got this from Second Chance Apparel. I'll put the link below. This is for aspiring entrepreneurs. And the reason why I love to support it is that every shirt or hoodie that you purchase goes back into housing the homeless. Hey, what's going on, family? Just to let you know, there are 4 different ways to get into what we do. The first way is absolutely free by joining us every Monday, Tuesday, and Saturday right here on our YouTube channel. Monday and Tuesdays are at 6 p.m. Eastern, and Saturdays are at 10 a.m. Eastern. That's the free way. The next way is our ILF Mastery Blueprint, which is our one-on-one coaching, and we'll talk more about that here in a minute, but that's our hand-holding coaching, as we would call it. We walk you step by step, and it's called the ILF Mastery Blueprint. The next version of how to get into what we do is called the ILF Accelerator. That's a 6-month program for people that may not need the one-on-one coaching for an extended amount of time. And then the very last one is called our do-it-yourself version, where we give you all the material, all the content, and everything that you need to get started. And you can do it at your own pace. And it's called our do-it-yourself version. We figured out your problem. You have a great business or a great business idea. You just don't have a website. So visit digitalflowsolutions.net and get the best website in the world for only $97. And then you just pick your monthly plan. Let's get back to the content. All right. So we're going to get you guys out of here. And thank y'all again for showing up. We appreciate that. Hopefully we said something that can change your life or even make you think a little bit different of how we use real estate, the love of God, and helping people all at the same time. Last question is kind of a very funny question. This person says, sorry to be so frank, but do you have anything that's free that I can start with? Yes. So it's this YouTube channel. There's over 600 videos on this YouTube channel, but also if you go to forstonconsultants.com, scroll all the way to the bottom, there's about 3, I think it's 2 or 3 of our ebooks that are absolutely free. So there's one of our ebooks that is called Life After COVID-19. Obviously, that's in the past now, right? But a lot of you guys remember COVID when it was hanging around. I wrote a book that just simply gave ideas of different businesses that you can start. Because again, if y'all remember when COVID hit, it kind of just froze life for a while, right? So I wrote a book just with some ideas in it, and it's called Life After COVID-19. You guys can get that book for free, right? Go to forstonconsultants.com and scroll down to the ebook section. Also, there's another book that's called Real Estate Vocabulary. So I'm a part of a real estate vocabulary room. I'm a part of the real estate room every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. for about an hour and a half. And we talk a lot about like real estate concepts and those words that will kind of confuse you when you first get into real estate. Again, because we just want to help people, I created a real estate vocabulary book. Every word pretty much that you would need to know dealing with real estate, buying, selling, or holding from A to Z, I give it to you and it's free. So it's called the Real Estate Vocabulary Book. Again, all of these terms that'll help you understand real estate more. Because one thing about real estate, guys, if you don't understand the vocabulary, you can get lost in the sauce. Meaning back in the day, I know what ARV meant. Like, what's an ARV? What is a DSCR loan? Like all of these acronyms that are within like real estate, if you guys don't know what that stuff is, you can get confused. So make sure you go to forstonconsultants.com, scroll to where it says ebooks. In fact, let me see if I can go to it real quick. Let me see if I can lead y'all directly there. But yeah, forstonconsultants.com. And I'm actually go through the motions with y'all. Products and services. Yeah, so if you guys click products and services, the first thing you'll see is the ILF Mastery Blueprint, the Accelerator, and then the DIY. Right under that is ebooks. Okay, so there's a few of my ebooks that, again, are absolutely free. And then the one that's newest, our newest ebook that starts November 1st is going to be a charge for $37. That ebook you get for free by texting the word new. So NEW. And that book is entitled How to Avoid the ILF Fiasco, the 12 Dumbest Mistakes I Made. Get that book again, y'all, for free. Because starting on the 1st of November, that book, like my other ones, will have a charge to it for $37. But guys, I talk about how I can save y'all from that $40,000 lawsuit that I went through. So remember, it's titled How to Avoid the 12 Dumbest Mistakes That I Made. So guys, if nothing else you get from me, man, go and get this free stuff, right? Move at the speed of instruction. And then most of y'all need a website like we talked about 2 weeks ago. You got to start somewhere, guys, right? So even if you don't get the coaching right away, guys, at least go and get a $97 website. And you can get that from digitalflowsolutions.net. Again, digitalflowsolutions.net. All right. So again, forstonconsultants.com. Go download those free ebooks too, guys. Start somewhere. We're very close to the election. There's a lot of distractions going on in this world. And I want you guys to focus and truly remember what God has already told you to do, right? Remember, procrastination is the arrogant assumption that God will give you more time for something he's already told you guys to do. So don't procrastinate, right? We don't want to be in that. We do this thing that's called move at the speed of instruction, right? Because when people do that, the right things happen to you. I'll just put it that way. When people move at the speed of instruction and don't procrastinate, the right things happen. Because again, God is going to honor that and God is going to meet you halfway. But other than that, you guys be great. I'm going to pray y'all out of here. Let me see if there's anything else that I forgot. Because usually when I answer, I should have said this. Let me think. We told you guys about the coach. Oh, don't forget, the coaching is half off. So any coaching product that you want, text the word half, right? And let us know which one you want. But pretty much any coaching that we have right now, the ILF Mastery Blueprint, the Accelerator, and the DIY, they're all half off, guys. So just to help out with people in this crazy economy and to help people with cost, because again, things are getting crazy in this world, and we realize that. So we want to be able to help people. And again, don't forget, text the word scholarship to that phone number as well to see if there's a scholarship that's available that can help you with price. Again, scholarship does not take care of the total costs, but scholarship does take a big indent out of it. So again, if you want to apply for our scholarship, it's very easy to get that. And again, guys, it'll help with cost, even at the sale price that we're already given. All right. So other than that, now unto him that is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all we can ever ask or think, according to God's power that worketh in us. You guys be great, and look forward to seeing Shay tomorrow at 6 p.m. to talk about digital flow solutions and a newer concept that we're doing now with our virtual assistants. So for people that can't quite commit to 5 days a week, 6 hours a day with this VA, we got a new concept now, guys, that's going to be more affordable, and you don't have to commit to the VA. So join us tomorrow because we want to talk about that. And don't forget, any questions, any concerns that you have that you want us to bring live, that can also be text to that same phone number at 407-326-0086. And again, that will allow you guys to text in any questions or any concerns that you have that you want us to address when we go live. Other than that, you guys be great. God is good. Keep God first. The devil is under your feet and has no place in your life, your business, or your family. Be blessed, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern. We figured out your problem. You have a great business or a great business idea. You just don't have a website. So visit digitalflowsolutions.net and get the best website in the world for only $97. And then you just pick your monthly plan. Let's get back to the content.